I love shooting with continuous light, even photography. For this particular video, we're going to talk about photography using continuous light. I got this light sent to me by Ambitful, and I am so happy to show you what this can do. I actually have a video over here on my YouTube channel, so if you want to check it out and see what this light is made up of, you can go look it up, and I'm sure that you'll be convinced to get one for yourself. Now let's get right into business. The look that my subject or my model went for was vintage. So from the top of my head, I just have to think about that. How am I going to make this make sense and not add too much contemporary looks to the already great looking vintage look? All right, I had no idea about that design, and so everything I did over here was just right on top of my head just at that moment. And so with my lighting setup, I always go for a light from the top, and I thought about how to render my subject out of background because I used a backdrop that was dark in nature as much as the color of the costume. My model has a warm skin tone, so readily this helps me a whole lot because it is very easy to actually identify and see it out of the background. But talking about the headpiece, what she was wearing, especially the gloves and the costume itself, it would readily get hidden or conform so much to the background that you may not see it. And because I wasn't using flashes, I couldn't really bring in so much light intensity that my camera would be able to, select the subject out of the background. So I needed to get my light as close as I could, first of all. Secondly, two of my rim lights, which is the Ambitful FL80 RGB on the right hand side of the camera, and my LED panel coming from the left with a warm tone in its temperature. I had a plethora of options to choose from. So starting off with the colored light coming from the right hand side is from the FL80 RGB, which I have a video about talking about what it can do and all the goodies that you can get from this light down the description below. So check it out and make the decision for yourself, and I'm sure that you're going to love it. Having this lighter can give you a lot of colors coming from one light will make it so easy for you that you don't have to get yourself a bunch of gels. So all that you needed to do was to just change the color and it'll give you as you wanted. And looking at giving myself that vintage feel, I needed to go with blue because, well, that actually worked a whole lot with the makeup that I saw as well as the headpiece. You notice that there's also a prop in the shot, and that prop having a vase in which there are blue flowers just got me off the start that I needed to have a blue light, creating an accent and carving myself out of the background. So I would say that it was one of the determinants which I used to influence the choice of color from the light that's coming from the right hand side. And so I took a couple of shots, and as I was shooting, I noticed that I was having a little bit of a problem with getting the look of the dress all the way down. Because the light wasn't as strong enough, especially the key light that was coming from above, I couldn't get so much light hitting the dress down below. So what I needed to do was to open up my ISO at some point to get a lot of light to reveal that part of my frame. But a part of the backdrop that was forming the floor was quite dirty, and so I needed to still make it conspicuous. So I tried my best not to go overboard with the ISO, but to stay within a pleasurable or a containable setting so that I could delete or easily erase those parts that I didn't want, especially the stains and the footprints that were on the floor. I'll just say that the intensity of the light and also the dirty part of the flowers, just the complications. But other than that, everything else formed part and was much easy to work around with. And because I was using continuous light, I could see what I wanted to shoot right on the LCD screen, and so it wasn't difficult to determine how the look was gonna turn out to be. So after shooting a couple more, I noticed that I needed to get closer to see how best I could use the lights to also bring out the beauty of the subject and not look at the whole shoot entirely as just a fashion editorial, but also a potential beauty lighting setup. And so I did that by shooting from different angles, having a light be in the shot, the Ambitful FL80 RGB for that matter, in the shot as an accent light, still acknowledging the fact that I had one light coming from behind me, because shooting and having the Ambitful as an accent light warranted one light which was before and an accent light now hitting the subject from behind me. And so I had to reduce the intensity so that it wouldn't overpower the key light that was coming from above. And basically, that was how I ended up with these images, and it was wonderful. And I'll always entice people and urge people to shoot with continuous light for the most part, because flashes, though they are powerful in its nature, but trust me, most often than not, we advertise or we showcase our images on social media, and so we don't necessarily need all the richness and all the megapixels, high sharpness, and all that these camera manufacturers sell their cameras to us by. But using continuous light is going to also help you know how to, work your way when you find yourself compromising over a lot of things, or find yourself in a compromising situation, if I should say. So learning how to shoot with continuous light has aided me in a lot of ways. It's just like shooting with natural light, because a lot of photographers that I've come across shy away from shooting with natural light, and the main reason is because they can't have so much control over light, and continuous light can help you learn your way around it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the post notification button so anytime I upload a new video, you're going to be notified and you're going to be the first to see it as well. So until the next video, as we always do, have a wonderful day. See ya.